Okay, hello everybody. I think the live stream is set up now. I'm not fully sure. I'm just doing some last minute checks. Yo, Lupus, what's up, man? Just getting the last minute checks going for the stream here, and make a public announcement on the thingy. Create a post and an image. Chat, everybody, jump in, say hello, say something in the chat so I know everything's working. I'm just preparing last minute, things so that we can sit down, learn Anran together. And by the way, this is the longest hero trial we've ever gotten. Um, and that's because her hero trial will go all the way up until the launch of the new season, which is 4 days from now. So we get a small preview of the new character. Yo, Johnny, how are you, my friend? We're gonna have a small preview of the new character, and we are gonna learn her in real time. Although to me, she is quite familiar. Obviously, she's very inspired by two kits in Marvel Rivals, Phoenix and Psylocke. So it's not like I'm gonna struggle that much understanding how to play her. So let's not waste any time and try to pick up on her kit. Just give me a moment. Once again, you know how last minute additions are, getting everything going. So this is Anran. She looks absolutely amazing. She looks gorgeous. Yo, Long John, what's up, man? Just in time for. I can't see the rest of your comment, but I'm going to assume you made a joke about being just in time for my stream. And okay, here we go. So Anran is very similar to the like Phoenix and Psylocke from Marvel Rivals. A lot of her primary gameplay is like a flanking Phoenix. So this is really cool. So let me break down the kit. So today we're going to be talking about Anran's kit and breaking it down. Starting us off is going to be the Zukoi fans, and that's the left click, and then the right click is fan the flames, right? So hand fans that shoot fiery projectiles. So I'm doing it from the 5 meter range here. So that's the left click. That's what it looks like. And then it applies the passive, and if they stack, the enemy is ignited. And yes, I know there's going to be a question: does it headshot? It does headshot. So you can see it headshotting over there. And then the right click is a hot wind blast that amplifies the burning damage. So I think if you do this, it doesn't do that much damage. That's really bad, right? It can still apply the stack, but if the enemy is already burning, and then you fan the flame, they burn even harder. So I assume the gameplay loop is to utilize the left and right clicks. It's very similar to Genji, right? You're basically poking. Once the stack is applied, you fan the flame to make them burn brighter, and then you win from there, right? Also, from what I'm understanding, her hitboxes are relatively forgiving. It's not like, if you have decent aim, she's not that hard to play. As you can clearly see, like, it's a big circle she shoots out. So, this left click is very similar to Genji's. So, that's interesting, you know. And this is one projectile. So, she really is like a new take on the Genji playstyle. Okay, so that's the first two abilities. And the passive, I suppose you could call it a passive. Yeah, ignition, hit enemies with fires to burn them. Next up, we're going to be talking about the first ability called the Inferno Rush. So this basically propels you forward, and it damages enemies that you impact. So it's kind of like a diva dash, right? So like, you basically run through people, and it helps applies these stacks. And you have two charges of these, so you can do it again and do a lot more burn damage. Now, it has a pretty nice low cooldown. It doesn't seem to be that bad. She is 250 HP, which typically quote-unquote flankers are a bit on the lower HP side. So she has a good amount of self-sustain on her. What's interesting to note is that with the shift, even though it kind of feels like a diva defense, a diva boost, you can't actually, it doesn't have that much verticality. which kind of sucks. Like, it gives you a light boost, you know. And I guess you could do like a shift jump cancel with the shift again to like carry over the momentum, but it's a bit clunky in that regard. But not as clunky as some of the movement that you gotta do on Vendetta, right? So it's good enough. Okay, so we're gonna be looking at the next ability, which is the Dancing Blaze. So this is basically the Psylocke ultimate from Marvel Rivals, which you just press E and she does it automatically. Basically, the more enemies there are within your circle, the longer that ability is gonna go. It typically lasts for like 1.5 seconds, so it's not that crazy, right? And no, if you hold it down, you can't do it longer, so it's not that long, right? So yeah, it just strikes nearby enemies while dodging all damage. So you don't necessarily, if I'm understanding it correctly, you don't have to use it in a way where you're just confirming a kill. You could probably use it to, dodge projectiles. So like if somebody's shooting at you, you could basically like Suzu yourself, right? That's basically a personal Suzu. So now that I think about it, like this ability has a little bit of depth to it, because again, you can use it to confirm a kill, or if you can confirm a kill, it's basically a self Suzu. So you can like take a duel into a target, perhaps like self Suzu, and like just keep that momentum going. So she's gonna have like nice depth to herself, and finally support players will understand how frustrating it is to play into a Suzu, because they're gonna feel it from the DPS side. So DPS kind of got their own Suzu, and I know somebody's gonna make a joke about this being a Kiriko part 2, right? Yo, Thunder Dagger, how are you, man? Hope you're doing well. So continuing with the video over here, the next thing we're gonna be looking at is her ultimate, and then okay, well I'll cover the perks first, since what's it called? We're gonna keep hearing that annoying noise. Yeah. So we have Smolder. Ignite will last 1.5 seconds longer. Now this is a big buff to the neutral gameplay. So honestly, it's really nice. And then on the other side, you got the Heat Shield, where you gain 60 overhealth for every enemy ignited by your ultimate, up to a maximum of 180. So this gives you more potential of doing something crazy with your ultimate. I guess it's kind of like if you slam down with your ult, you'll gain a lot of overhealth, so you can make like a really big play and overcommit. Also, I think this means the ultimate doesn't exactly expire the overhealth, which is also very, very interesting. Show the feet. There is no feet. She's wearing shoes. Grow up. All right. So moving on from this point onwards, the next part. So we'll just take like the Heat Shield for now.
Let's give this a try.
The next two perks that she has is Short Fuse and Hungering Blaze, okay? So impacting an enemy with the Inferno Rush will reduce its cooldown by 1.5 seconds. So again, for those of you that are, a bit new to the terms, Inferno Rush is your shift, right? That's nice, so if you like bump into somebody with it, its cooldown is going to go down, which is nice because that's kind of her only option of survivability. And then on the other side, you have Hungering Blaze, where again, so this is if you use basically the mini Psylocke ultimate, you're going to heal 50 HP for every enemy hit by the Dancing Blaze. That's actually really good. So this, to be honest with you, if I had to pick one, I might go with Hungering Blaze, because being able to maintain your HP is more important than reducing the cooldown on the shift. It could be a little bit map or comp dependent. Let's say if you're playing into like a dive comp, and you may need to like kite a lot more, then you might want to go for the Short Fuse. But if you're playing like really like tight map and you're playing against a brawl comp, the Hungering Blaze is going to be a better option. So I like these type of perks because they actually like make you want to think about your decisions and like what you're playing into, etc., right? So great job to the team for these pretty well designed perks. Wish it was like that for almost all the characters, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to take Hungering Blaze. And yeah, now we can round this off by showcasing the ultimate. So she is the first character in this game. I mean, I guess you can count Symmetra, but in theory, for the DPS role, because Symmetra only has one ult now, Anran has two ultimates. Number one is she charges forward and explodes on impact and instantly ignites enemies. So again, that's literally Phoenix's ultimate from Marvel Rivals. Doing the exact same thing, the explosion, the ignite being applied, the passive stacking, all of that stuff, right? Then on the other side, you have the Vermilion Revival, which is if you are dead, you can press Q to revive yourself. So you can make like some really aggressive plays with her and then use your ultimate to basically bring yourself back to life. I am pretty sure. So what we'll do is we'll test the revival mechanic first. So let's pretty much just get ourselves skilled over here. If the game wants to cooperate, that would be pretty nice. You want to cooperate a little bit more. So yeah, now if I press Q, I basically bring myself back, and you do cause an explosion that will damage the enemy. So like going into feed, dying, reviving, and keeping the momentum going, might actually be a pretty good strategy. You know, if you're doing like a hard dive with your Winston, that's not necessarily a bad idea, right? Or even a Diva or Doomfist or whoever you have on your team that's a dive tank, right? So we got this HP pack. And the normal ultimate is going to be you pressing Q, going into the skybox, right? And then you can slam down, right? Which again, it does a lot of damage. And if it doesn't kill them, it's probably going to apply the stacks, right? So let me just do it once more. So you can see it's exactly like Phoenix. It leaves them with like, you know, a little bit of HP, but it's going to be really easy for you to confirm the kills, right? So once more, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some of the base numbers. So as you can see, this is her HP. She's 250. You can see like everything else, melee is 40 damage, and she has the flanker movement speed, which is the 6.0 meters per second. Then the fans do about 40 damage per volley. Okay, you can see the volley, the ignition. I'll let the people that like numbers have a quick look at these type of things. All right. Vermilion Ascent, so this is the big one, right? It does about 165 damage per explosion, which is pretty strong, all things considered. So the important thing is that, you know, they also tell us some interesting things. So it applies burning, it can do critical headshot damage, and it also has travel time. So because it's a projectile, right? Now over here with Fan the Flames, the interesting thing is that this ability can crit. I believe that's what it means. It's considered a beam, you know, which I think I might be wrong. Uh, oh, actually, I am very wrong. Hold on. There's so I got this right. I got this right, right? But I got this wrong. So ability critical says it deals bonus damage in an AoE or under specific conditions. It will ignore critical immune. So this ability can do AoE damage, is what I'm understanding, right? It's a beam, so it will ignore and negate projectile abilities and cannot deal crit damage. So it deals 30% reduced damage to armor. Oof, that might be bad against a tank. And then it burns, so we know that, right? But it can be cleansable, it says right there. And then it pierces, so ranged attacks and healing that can pierce heroes, so it can go through multiple targets. That is something worth noting, right? So moving on to the next one, obviously is going to be the Vermilion Ascent, which and both abilities you know have different okay, my cat wants to leave the room. One moment. Sorry, excuse me about that. But both abilities have different unique passives on them. So it does pierce. This is the really interesting thing. It does pierce barriers. So you cannot block this ultimate. This is really important to understand. You cannot block this ultimate. It will pierce barriers. Okay. And then moving on to the next one, it's evasive, so it can pass through enemy heroes and does not block movement. Of course, it can move around, and you know it can be interrupted by hack, hinder, sleep, and stun. We're gonna have to see how that works, right? And then it also applies the reload, which lets you reload your weapon. Moving on over to the next one, the Verminion Revival actually is an AoE explosion that also deals damage to armor. It has armor piercing on it, right? So it pierces, it does the full damage to armor. This one doesn't do, this one pierces barriers, but this one pierces armor. That's something very important to know, okay? It's invulnerable. You cannot be damaged as you're being revived. You're in a phased state, which is pretty much the Suzu, right? It reloads your weapon, and yeah, that's it for those abilities, right? Similarly, you can see like all these new wordings. I think this is new. We before couldn't, like, you know, we didn't have these like extra information, right? So it's very good. It says here strong movement silenced by hinder, which is interesting. Does that mean that Cassidy might actually be able to stun you out of it? I might be wrong on this, but we'll have to double check it. So either way, that's Anran's base kit. She looks to be like a very fun hero. I assume her basic approach combo onto a target is going to be looking for those headshots, and as soon as the passive is on, you pretty much just want to, like, you know, get your right clicks going, and then you're gonna confirm a kill and move on with your life, right? And of course, like, this is a very simple, straightforward kit, not that overly complex. When you see like an opportunity, you are going to go in your bird form. You know, you can take a bit of verticality and then slam down and do damage. Now, interestingly enough, this barrier was able to block it, which it said it's barrier piercing, if I'm not wrong, which is a false advertisement. Pierces barriers and heroes. So, not sure what they meant by piercing a barrier, because right there, I wasn't exactly able to pierce a barrier. unless it's bugged in the training range. So that's her kit, and we're gonna get to some gameplay. Hopefully we can catch her quickly. All I know is that the queue times are going to be absolutely atrocious. Yeah, this was bound to happen. Um, kind of wish that we just got it with the new season altogether, but what can you do? Obviously she's the new character, so everybody's excited to play her. I will say though, a little bit surprising that she's not on the front page. For like a moment like this, you probably want to like feature her and let people know, hey, Anran's in the game, like, go play Anran. So now I'm stuck in Q hell, and yeah, we're here with Anran. She looks good. I like her hairstyle. Her fans are really cool. I think she has some of the most beautiful animations in the game. So like her mythic weapons and her mythic skin is gonna look absolutely incredible, right? I don't know when she's gonna get her skins, like in terms of mythics and stuff like that, but I just know this one, like they're gonna give her like crazy skins, right? So Anran's like really really cool. Great hero. I can't wait to see Emre. Like I like both, like Emre, Anran. It's just that the DPS role is so fun now. There's so many fun characters to play. Vendetta, and of course the old school characters are still very fun, like Genji, Hanzo, Reaper, you know, Junkrat, Echo, Pharah. Although Pharah and Echo could probably use some small buffs here and there, but it's great, man. Like our role has been kind of neglected for a while in the DPS. Um, and Freya, I like Freya, but it's not like she was anything overly groundbreaking. But now, we got like a very, very, very interesting character. So, uh, man, I'm so excited to grind the game again. We're just waiting to get into a match. So now I'm gonna catch up on chat. And have you seen the new perk updates? I've not seen all the new perk updates. Overpriced cosmetics. I don't know if you have a link, or if you know where I can find them. It's been very frustrating trying to catch all the new perk updates. I've seen some though. She might be a new DPS main for me because I don't have a DPS main. I hope you like her. She's very similar to Genji. It does really feel like they wanted that Genji playstyle to translate onto a different character. And they've done a really good job of it, like, flying on over to Anran. So, maybe Genji gets banned, like you can play Anran, but the flanker role, oh, by the way, like the sub role passives is not in the game, right? So we're not experiencing the sub role passives yet, unless I'm mistaken. Hold on. Don't hold me to that code just yet. Yes, so we don't have the sub role passives at the moment either. And yeah, we're testing her without all of that. So that's something interesting to note. The damage difference is very big, and it's not that hard to apply her, you know, her flames. Like it's just a two body shot, and you get to apply the flame right away. So that's interesting. Maybe I feel really comfortable on this hero because she's literally just Genji, but like in a slightly different way. I do wish we had a bit more verticality though. We don't have that much verticality. Oh yes, I want to try this heat shield thing. And then like going through people. Oh damn, like if you hit multiple people you can get the cooldown really fast, and then dude, you could just like bowling ball people with this character. That's kind of funny. Okay, now let's try the ultimate. Oh, pretty big verticality. I think I hit like 3 people here. Oh my god, I got like 300 HP. So is that permanent? No, it does decay. So you're on a timer right after you use the ult to pretty much like go crazy. That's not bad though. The overhead can like make you, stay in place and really do some big damage. Your no Kiriko looks fire. New Kiriko does look fire. Literally. The fire is a nice utility. I do like her burn. I think she feels really strong. Like, and I think if there's anything that we might have to nerf is probably how long it takes to trigger her passive. So like right now, as you can see, the damage is not that much, right? Like this is whatever, right? And the headshot damage is like, it's okay, right? but when you apply the passive right away and then you fan it, that's when it really does the big damage, right? So if we want to nerf anything, I would probably nerf the shots it takes to get the passive going, but maybe we don't need to, you know? Maybe we should go into an era where DPS is a little bit stronger now. So I'm happy about that, you know? The effects look really cool. Very nice. It's also, it doesn't feel that hard to use and play either. Like, her hitboxes are relatively decent sized, you know? See that? Like, that's pretty decently sized. And of course, this is like a training bot moment, right? I do want to see how she feels against an armored hero. So let's pull up Reinhardt. So that's that, and then flaming. Okay, so it's okay. Okay, so her ability to fight a tank is kind of weak. That's not a surprise. Like, she's not exactly a tank duelist, like not a tank buster. You guys saw that? Like, even like the stack applied, it's not doing that much damage. You know, so not exactly the best example of a tank buster. I guess it's like, unless you really need to fight a tank, it's probably not a good idea of fighting a tank with Anran. Like, especially if they have armor. Like, you can see the armor like really does a lot for the initial burst. Also, it sounds so satisfying, right? But let's try it with the ultimate here. So I really do wish she could go high. Oh, hello, Skybox chat. And you can hit the walls and then still trigger the ultimate, right? You can like bump people like this, bump people like this. You know, she's gonna be a very fun character. I think I'm gonna like this character a lot. She's really fun. She feels like an up-to-date Genji, playstyle wise. Hanzo got a Frost perk. Yeah, I saw that Hanzo got a Frost perk, and I was really happy about that. Because his perks have been kind of like hit or miss. There's no in between when it comes to Hanzo's perks. So that's really cool, you know. And yeah, man, 10-minute queue. This was kind of bound to happen. And yeah, I mean, we don't have the new perks here, so like it's just the character. She has incredible animations, by the way. It's really good, really nice animations. You know, like, while I'm waiting, I think I might as well just play against bots until I find a proper quick play game, because I'm kind of low on time and I don't have that much time. So what we're gonna do, right, is while I'm in queue, we'll play against bots, because it's gonna take a while for me to find a game, right? It kind of sucks. This is why, like, the hero trial, like only one hero coming to the game always kind of sucks. Is like, everybody, especially if it's DPS, because like everybody wants to try the new character, right? I don't want them to be beginner difficulty though. Hold on, remove all bots, add AI. We can at least make it hard, I guess, on both teams, and then I could just make it. I mean, why not? Let's play on King's Row. You know what? Let's play on King's Row Winter. Why not? It's out of season, but why not? Okay, so I'll try. This is the best way for me to try Anran right now. Because, guys, you can see the queue time, right? Like, this is going to be rough unless I get to play with a couple of friends playing other rules who wouldn't mind, you know, playing other rules for me. So, we will try her, like, while we wait. This is, I think, the best alternative, you know, situation. Okay, so let's play her, I guess. This is genuinely the only thing I can do right now. I mean, my girlfriend should be home soon, and we can probably duo, and that should help alleviate the queue a little bit. Ooh, her poke is really good. Can take this angle over here and just keep like firing away. I know they're bots, guys, but like, what can we do? You know, you can see the queue on the top, so like, nobody complains. See, it's this, it's pointless. Like, even from this like little simulation, you can see it's pointless for me to focus this Orisa. I just don't do enough damage. So what I'll do is I'll take this off angle, right, and I'll see if I can burn somebody here. And okay, she does need to be respectfully close, so we're just gonna get out of that situation. It's not looking so good for us, guys. We're gonna give up that space and we're gonna reset. So you know, my bots lost that fight. Not much I can do over there. And the little thought experiment over here is to show that she is really not that good into shooting the tank, right? So when you're playing this character, like, unless you have no choice, please don't shoot the tank. Okay, please don't shoot the tank. It's just not worth it. It's not worth your time. All right, so we're gonna poke again. Okay, my hog's going on the flank. I might as well take this angle here. Gonna try and apply some burns here. Okay, so it's a lot harder than it looks. It does take a bit to get the burn going, but like, okay, so her damage feels kind of weak until the burns come online, which kind of sucks. I guess maybe one strategy we could try is I go in with my shift and then I press my E. You know, I can go in with my shift and press my E and see if, like, you know, I can apply the burns. But like, that would be like a dive playstyle, and obviously my tank is Roadhog, so not exactly the most fun experience, you know. But I guess like that's like a strategy you could do, you know, in a scenario like this. I mean, if I could get into a real game, that would be great. But she does kind of like, she does feel like a pretty dedicated dive. Like, I would want to probably play like Emre in a scenario like this, right? So okay, let's try that. Let's go in. Okay, okay, that's a really tiny circle. Let me get out of that scenario. Okay, all right. Okay, that sucks. That's beginning to make sense why they gave you like the ignite lasting longer, because it is a little bit difficult to apply, and like you have to keep it like going, right? So interesting. Okay, she's ignited. So you do want to look for those headshots. Trying to apply the, you know, the passive, the stacks. I can't aim right now. And then when the burn is really going, that's when you can finish them off. I'm gonna go into birdie mode. Big. Psylocke ultimate. Okay. You know, shift in. And I'm kind of dead, but like, I think that was a pretty good rotation of using her kit. Again, this is all just for experimentation. Not really going crazy here. Not really in a match at the moment. But it's pretty cool. So her little hello animation is the best thing I've ever seen. Wait, her hello animation is actually adorable. Look at that. That's actually so cute. That's actually cute. Go to devs, man. W Aaron Keller, W Team Overwatch. Okay, things are ending. I'm gonna go for this off angle real quick. Oh man. Okay, I can see why they gave her the 250. She blows up pretty fast. Now, to be fair, those guys are bots, and maybe the hard bots do have the aimbot, right? But we're trying to like figure out like the optimal gameplay loop for this hero. Her sound effects are so nice. These are really nice sound effects. Why did they release only one hero trial and they can release only so? It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Like we're literally right around the corner in a few days from now. We're still getting 5 heroes, my guy. We'll live, you know. All I'm saying is, bro, I got the short end of the stick with the bots. This is not fair. Okay, I got my major perk. See, now I like the idea of the Hungering Blaze, because in a scenario like this, I'm struggling to survive. So you typically, like, maybe you could bait somebody into a room with you. And like, if they commit to the room with you, that's where you'll really excel. Right? So like, if I get chased, hopefully not by the Orisa. I have control of this angle here. I'm gonna let go of this angle. Take this one back here. Right? So, just trying to utilize the map for my team. Okay, nice. Not bad. Not bad. So, like, again, the flex DPS problem of just sitting on an off angle is pretty much what you want to do, right? Which is for better or for worse. Um, Yo, Poochie, what's going on? Does your right click work with other flame sources like Ash and Naga? From what I have understood, yes, because the passive is the same. It's called like, you know, I believe it's the same. Actually, that's a very good question. I'm not sure, but Ignite and Ignition, I wonder if they're the same. Oh my god, you can be shot in your ultimate? What, dude, no, like, oh my god, that's really bad. I think if you're in your ultimate, you should be invulnerable. I think that's the one thing Rivals learned really fast, which was like, not being invulnerable in your ult is a really bad thing. Because you're just standing there, like people can just kill you. Or at least get some overhealth so you can like take time to like come down and everything. You know what I mean? This shift is really clunky. Like, I wish you could jump in it or something. Like it like locks you into place. You can't really move. So you can like Suzu yourself to keep yourself alive, as we discussed earlier. That's good. Gonna just bail myself out of there. Bail myself out of there again. Did she change the way she's holding the fan, or am I going crazy? I think I'm going crazy, right? It kind of feels like she changed the way she's holding the fan. I think I'm losing it. I think I'll hold this angle here. Hashtag buff Reaper Blossom. I don't disagree. Reaper. I mean, he's in a pretty good spot, no? Reaper's pretty good these days. It's not that bad. Okay, I randomly did that jump. Okay, okay. I see the potential with this character, but her animations lock her into place. I don't understand why this team keeps doing this. Like, locking a character's animation in place is exactly how you get killed on them. That's really bad. Otherwise, this character is really fun. I really like her. She's literally a fire Genji. What else is there to say? She's a fun fire version of Genji. Okay, it is nice that the flames can finish off a target. I know this is like really not the best contextual data because obviously I'm playing against bots and you guys can see on the top left I'm in a 20-minute queue, so I don't even know if I'll get enough time to play. I at least would like to play one game with her. Dude, you have to be like so close to use your E, otherwise it's just a Suzu. Okay, the ult goes hard though. Like those combos with this ult is gonna go crazy. Dude, that's crazy. I played a full bot match and I still haven't found the game. That's crazy. I can probably play another. I mean, I kind of don't have a choice. I kind of just have to play bot matches. Because, like, we're still in queue. We're still in queue, guys. How long do you think it'll go before we find a match? Ain't no tank player interested in playing Overwatch, buddy. Ain't no tank player want to play Overwatch. Oh god. Okay, if it hits the 40-minute queue time, all Anran, go deathmatch. No, I don't mind playing deathmatch, but it's like I want to get like a feel for her, like in a team fight setting. Even if it's bots, it's okay. You know, it's like it's not that big of a deal. I just want to know like how she feels like going into a team fight. Like that's why I was experimenting with like that Ursa bot. It really affirmed my theory that yeah, like shooting a tank with this character feels useless. Maybe they might make the ignite a little bit stronger. She feels very bad into break. Yeah, she feels She feels a little bit weak though. Allow me to cancel the Blossom. I agree. I agree. Because look, I think the problem, right, is that you have to be so close. Maybe they could extend the duration because if you aren't able to get the E to go off, it's pretty much just a self Suzu. But the problem with the self Suzu is that you're locked into place. You can't move, right? Maybe if you could like self Suzu yourself and move, that would be kind of nice. Because like again, it's the same thing with Vendetta. Like the kit and the concept is really cool, but there's all this unnecessary clunk, right? There's all this like unnecessary clunk, which I can't believe. Like with Rivals is Phoenix, they actually like don't have that clunk, you know. Okay, so we take this off angle, apply some burns here and there. Yeah, she gets bursted really fast. Okay, but I think she's good at taking attention. That's me cooking, by the way. And then I guess you're meant to like bowling ball around the area. Like I guess they really did vision you bowling balling this area and like igniting enemies. It's like you're meant to like left click, left click, left click, maybe ignite, then E, then use the next shift to escape. I guess that's the play style. You know, there's a bit of depth to the character. Like maybe I should stop trying to play her like Genji, you know, and try to play her like herself. You know, she kind of feels like a mix of Genji and Tracer, but like Tracer if Blinks didn't give her the invulnerability window. You know, so let's do this. Oof, the damage doesn't feel that good though. I feel like a follow-up merchant, you know? It feels just like Genji. Like, I feel like I'm a follow-up merchant. Like, once the burst came from my team, I feel like I could do something. Way too much mobility? I wouldn't say way too much mobility. I think the mobility is like really clunky. Like, see, I cannot go up while jumping. It's really, really telegraphed. It's very predictable. So, like at high levels of play, you know, and especially in scrims, this is going to be a very easy character to punish. Is Genji Tracer mixed for sure? Yeah, Beastman, I agree. It's a little bit of both. It's just this like, I feel like, you know, it's clear they were inspired by Rivals as Phoenix and Psylocke for this one, right? But like, there's a couple of things I wish they learned from it. That, oh, maybe there was a reason. Like, I don't like that when you ult and you go up as the bird, right? When you're up as the bird, you're interactable. I think at least for like 1 second, you should be invulnerable. Otherwise, like, I really like Smolder, but I think you might want to take Heat Shield. But even then, Heat Shield, you actually have to first get your ultimate to go off to be able to overcommit to a fight. Let's try Heat Shield and play a more aggressive way. So, gonna ignite this guy. You know, probably should use my shift first there. Don't know where the Doomfist went. I think it's just no point ulting here. Okay. Okay, there's some clunk. Like when you press the E, the time it takes for you to deploy the animation should be faster. And I think the E could last a bit longer. It's weird. It's not like it's clunky. Okay, like I don't know, like I don't know how to describe it. I'll be able to be nasty. I mean, I'm trying. I just think it's a bit clunky though. Like I see what Spilo means now when he was testing it, that like the kid just feels a bit like it's missing some form of polish, you know? Maybe that's the trade-off of like getting characters faster. If the dash felt like Echo's dash, yeah, like if it felt like Echo's dash, or it's basically, look, it's basically a repurposed animation of Diva's booster, but with camera lock. Cause look, like I can't how do I describe this? Like I can't hard turn while I'm moving. You know, like I can turn the camera, but like the model is kind of like a little bit locked in place, and then like with the shift, I can't take height. Like you're telling me it's a bird character that can't fly. At least if she could go up a little bit, you could like stage your E, right? So we'll try. What we'll do is we'll try to do the bowling ball method. But like it's so risky though, because like if I go in like this and then I apply, I'm using my shift to get out, but like I'm 1 HP now. So it's like even if I'm doing that as a playstyle, I'm just betraying myself because I'll just die. So like the best and most optimal way to play her will be to like hold an off angle, poke, right? Fan a little bit, and then use your shift to go in for the E to try and confirm a kill, and then get out. Because you have so much windows where you're vulnerable. I'm beginning to understand why she's 250. I think this character cannot be 225. I think that's a smart call on their part. She already feels so vulnerable, right? Because like if I swap to Genji right now, I'm not gonna feel that vulnerable. I feel like I'll be able to care for myself. Maybe she could have had a double jump. Maybe the double jump would benefit her. But like you feel that like, oh god, like there's this like weakness in the kit a little bit. Maybe it's just like they have aimbot, right? Maybe it's just they have aimbot. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe if I play against like some people, it won't be that bad. Basically play corners, yeah. The dash can go up if you, yeah, but like there's not enough like, it's like a boosted jump. It's not like actual flight, right? Like I think what a lot of us want, like there's a character that's based on the Zukai bird, right? You kind of want her, like even if I'm shifting now and then I jump, I should be able to go up, right? So at least it gives some skill and depth in the movement, right? That Vegeta will be really good into this character now that I think about it. Alphonsius was right. Brick probably feels really good into this hero. Again, I know I'm testing it against bots, and to be fair, these are quote-unquote hard bots. But again, it's to get a feel for the character, right? Like, what does this gameplay loop look like in practice? 6.0 movement speed, I mean, yeah, she kind of needs it. Also, like, she is a part of the quote-unquote flanker role, so no surprise there. She can't do much to 1v1. Exactly, like, she feels like she takes too many steps before her lethality gets going. But in a way, like, that's kind of balanced, no? But like she can't do anything to tanks. Like you feel so bad into tanks. See, like okay, now I used 2 of my shifts to apply burn and the passive, and now I'm just too vulnerable. Maybe if you were shifting, you were invulnerable or something. Because like it's impossible to stay alive with this character. How big is her hitbox? Like how thick is she? I mean, she's decently sized. Like I don't know. I'm beginning to understand why they give her so much sustainability, items. I don't know if you want to go for the short fuse or if you want to go for hungering. I think you go for hungering blaze. Because like if you're going for like the aggressive loop, you're gonna be like putting yourself in vulnerable positions. Genji breakpoints? Does she have Genji breakpoints? Oh yeah, you meant like she's weak? Yeah, I kinda agree. But she'll probably get buffed before Genji does. Okay, let's try an aggressive play here. Okay. Yeah, dude, her damage is low. You guys see that? Like, that's kind of what I mean. Like until the passive gets going, it's really hard for this character to get going. Yeah, I like her too. I do agree with the dash thing though. It needs to be longer. Double jump would be nice. Yeah, it just feels like she's missing some things in the kit. It's like they were scared to like, make them bloated. It's like make one gameplay loop and go from there. See, like this is what I mean. Like she's a follow-up. She's exactly like Genji. She already has the same problem Genji does. She is a better character if you follow up on your teammates but not be the aggressor. Do you have full camera control? No, it's imagine D.Va if she couldn't go upwards. So if I boost and I press shift, I do like a mini jump, but I don't go that high, right? Like if you see D.Va, right? Hold on. It's like D.Va's booster, but with D.Va's booster you're not animation locked and you can free flow, right? But with her booster, if I shift and I do this, I'm just going in a straight line, and then if I jump a little bit, there's not much I can do. Now, there is a small way around this, is that if you're about to boost, right, time a jump, and you can give yourself like a small super jump, right? So you look something like this. Okay, I messed it up, but like I did it earlier. Yeah, so that's the super jump. So like, you can probably like shift jump out of a scenario to like take like, like let's say maybe if my Doom is gonna dive. Does the bot know how to dive with Doom? Okay, now he knows how to punch bot, because that's all Doom does now. So like, let's go deep. Yeah. See, that's that. See, this character will struggle. She's gonna get buffed, guys. She's gonna get maybe 275 HP. If not, they're gonna the way her damage works and the way her E works, maybe, or her shift. They might swap it up a little bit, because like this is rough, guys. This is rough. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of rough. Also, Rip Doom. Oh shit, dude. I was reading chat. I was reading chat. I was reading chat. I was reading chat. In my defense, I was reading chat. I couldn't see where I was going. I couldn't. I think you need to try it in a real game. I mean, sweetie, if you look at top left, I've been 30 minutes in queue. So like playing against bots is all I got, just to get like a feel for the kit, and it's like almost 12 a.m. for me. So I will call it a night like in a few. Um, Hopefully tomorrow I can live stream again earlier, and that's nice, right? Pick up this health pack real quick. Shift up here real quick. That's rough, man. That's rough. It feels rough to quickly apply the passive. It's rough. It looks ass. I don't think she's ass. I think she's purposefully underpowered so that they can justify the buff they're gonna give her on release. Like I can go pick Genji right now and do more. Like this character is weaker than Genji, and that's because she needs the passive to proc before she can pop off. See, and it takes too much follow. Like, see, this character is too vulnerable. This character is too vulnerable. She like in the wind up her ultimate, she needs to be invulnerable. I'm sorry. I need to be invulnerable. She needs to be invulnerable. She can't make those plays. This is gonna be another one of those vendetta situations where the devs think that it's a dive hero, and it's not a dive hero. You guys see the problem with the kit? You guys see the problem with the kit? She needs to be invulnerable. I don't care if it's broken. I don't care if it's broken. She needs to be. Oh wow, they're you can't see replays of custom games anymore. That's kind of stupid, no? That's kind of stupid. But like, you see what I mean, right? Like, not like Phoenix being invulnerable in rivals. It makes sense because if you don't, you're literally dead during the cast time, and she doesn't have range on the ult. Like, what I mean by that. Wait, let me explain what I mean by that. Um, Hold on. If I take the character, hold on. When you're casting the ult, right? Let's say, like, doing it from close range sounds like the most optimal thing to do because she's supposed to be a flanker, right? Or whatever, we don't care what we take right now. So, when you ult and you go in the skybox, you only have perhaps so much space that you could go to. Oh, no, actually, wait, no, you can fly diagonally and all of that. Okay, wait, so it's not like... Okay, wait, no, it is like Phoenix. Wait, okay, hold on. I might be wrong. How can I control this? Wait. Let me see. No, wait, you cannot turn her? Blizzard, come on. Dude. You can't turn her. When you 1v5 discorded, but that's not the point, though. Like, that's gonna happen regardless when you ult with this character. It's like... if it's that easy for bots to do, of course I'm gonna die, right? It's not like this character doesn't even have verticality. Like with Genji, right? When you're blading, it's not like you're gonna go up in their face and blade, right? Which again, I'm testing the limits with the character. However, she doesn't have anything that lets her stage her ultimate. And like right now, if I'm trying to look for like a good spot to land, I can just die. I can die in the casting phase. Like right up there, I die to a good hitscan player. Like you know who kills me right there? I ult, Ash looks up, 1, 2, and I'm dead. What can I do? What can I do? I can't do anything over there, right? Think about it for a second. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm discorded or not. Like, one character will look at me and I'll explode. You know? That's the thing. And look at that. You have 3 seconds. 3 seconds and you're moving like a snail. 3 seconds and you're moving like a snail. So she should move faster. Like, when you do this, you should move faster. It should be way faster. This is too slow. This is too slow. It'll at least give you a window to dodge a bullet or two before you can line up a shot. So you ult, and then you can quickly go down, right? But like you're literally just standing still in the skybox. But the difference, like with rivals when they did it, was that Phoenix is invulnerable. So it's either you make her invulnerable, so that she can safely like cast and then perform the ult, right? Or you allow her more movement when she's in the sky. So like right here, this phase. be able to move a lot more, because that's way too slow, right? Because that's way too slow. Because again, on a more open map, you're forced on a more open map to basically use your mobility cooldowns to get into a good position, and then look for your ultimate on the enemy. And now you're like close enough to where they can punish you. Do you see like the point I'm trying to make, right? Like the point that I'm trying to make. Yeah, 100%. They're gonna for sure buff her. Like they're for sure gonna buff her. Because I heard people saying when they were trying her at BlizzCon, oh sorry, BlizzCon, at the you know, I heard people that when they were trialing her, they were like, she's kind of weak. You know, you're not supposed to be in the alt mode for too long. Okay, so I think you're missing the point, my friend. It's a caster ultimate, which means it needs to be staged, right? Which means that if I have the ult, I need to position well to set it up. But the problem is that the kit doesn't give you verticality, right? Like Phoenix with Marvel Rivals, her E allows her to fly up, and then you can stage the ultimate. Or you can use her shift to like this shift, this like okay, forgetting Marvel Rivals and looking at Anran, right? Shifting and trying to take any verticality with her, it's just not happening. And even if you do like the super jump and then ult, you're vulnerable during this whole period, right? It's just too slow. So okay, if I was to take like who's another character that like that kind of has like a caster ultimate, like she's so telegraphed, like that's the problem, right? Like I would say maybe the only other character that comes close is Hanzo. And it's like like with Hanzo, you pretty much like, you know, for like 1.5 seconds you stand still, and you know you can get contested. But the thing is, with Hanzo's ult, before you can cast it, you can stay in a safe space, right? You can stay in a safe space, you can ult from behind your team and everything. I'm not saying you can't do that with Anran, right? There's just one problem. If you're far away from the enemy team, your ultimate only reaches a certain radius, right? I don't think it has infinite. You see, after a certain point, the ult just you see that, like, I don't have freedom in movement, and I don't have freedom in camera positioning. At some point, that inner box of the character breaks, right? So on the bigger maps, she will be required to go up close and personal to ult. Like, so like again, I'm ulting, and see, like after a certain point, instead of staging the ult box just breaks, right? And when she moves in the ult, you can only go a straight line. Another thing that they could do is when you're descending, control the flight. So like right here, like let's say I'm going in a straight line. I wish I could control the character, but I can't control the character, right? Which again is like unnecessary clunk. It's basically like, it's like all that. Do you remember like when we had Vendetta and she had all that unnecessary clunk, and they had to remove it one by one by one by one? That's basically the same thing, because once that clunk kicks in, that's when it's easy to punish a character, right? And Anran, I think she has too much of that. I think they were scared that this character would be strong, so it almost feels like on purpose they put in so much clunk in her kit. That's the thing. Reaper Blossom, well, the thing about Reaper Blossom, it's instantaneous. So you're not, like, you just deploy it, right? There's no telegraph, like you just go, you see, you're invulnerable. See, this is what I mean, right? Right before Reaper does it, his staging is safe, because he can either teleport into position, right? Look at how free flow, you can go wherever you want with the teleport, and then the shift makes you invulnerable, and then you can like quickly ult or teleport ult, and like the perks amplify that gameplay, right? Now, here's the small issue with Anran. Her perks, right? The ones for the ultimate, Heat Shield, right? Heat Shield would be good if you deployed your ult and you got overhealth. So let's say, it says gain 60 overhealth for every enemy hit by the ult. Now the problem is that you actually have to safely make the ult go off, right? So typically you're like somewhere at least in like the 20-30 meter range. You go up, you pray to God your tank is like taking attention, and then you quickly go and follow up on the tank. So she's gonna really like playing in brawl, rush, and dive comps, right? But like against poke comps, she's not gonna be bad at like, you know, hard diving poke, if assuming poke gets nerfed by that point. However, she's too telegraphed. Even her movement, it's so telegraphed, right? Like, look at how much camera lock I have. Okay, not camera lock, my WASD. Like, I can't control the character. I feel so limited. You see that? I'm pressing WASD. I can't control her. She just moves in a straight line. So, like, in my elo, like, really good hit scan players, right? They watch me moving in a straight line. One tap here, I'm dead. Right? Or I get stunned. One tap, I'm dead. right? They see me go up with the ult, one tap, I'm dead, right? So I know the only reason I'm looking at it from a little bit of an extreme side is like flankers are really hard to make in this game work, right? Okay, think about Genji's Dragon Blade staging, right? When you're staging Dragon Blade, and that's also why they gave it lifesteal, right? Because they knew this guy blows up at close range, and also the deflect heal, right? So when you're using Dragon Blade, right, you typically do one dash, blade, into another dash, right? That's really fast. Now imagine if you as a Genji couldn't dash up there. As you're like, imagine like as you're pulling the sword out, right? You dashed up, you pull the sword up, you're stuck, and then you can move. That's really bad. That's really bad. You saw that? You see what I mean? Right? So like that's why it's the same problem that Anran has. There's unnecessary clunk that holds back the kit. By the way, guys, Jesus Christ, 40-minute queue time. 40 minutes. That's a screenshot for Twitter. So the ult, she's too vulnerable. In the shift, she's too predictable. The E is too clunky. The kit is beautiful. Like, the character is very fun. The character is really cool. But there is areas that need help. And that's why we do these hero trials, so that, like, we can slow down and help the kit. Now, here's my theory, right? I think the reason they chose Anran was deliberate. Because they knew this kit probably felt the weirdest out of everybody else, right? Like, let's be real, Emre is a very simple hit scan character. I love the character, I'm going to play him as well. But he's a very simple character, right? The tank is basically reworked Ursa from Overwatch 1 with Emma Frost flavor, okay? The supports are pretty cool, right? And they got playtested, because the team has a lot of support plays. This is our flanker hero, and there's a lot of clunk. And typically when a character has too much clunk, they're not going to perform well, okay? And a support example of a character having too much clunk and not performing well is Life Weaver. So Life Weaver's kit is cool, but he struggles to perform because he has too much downtime in his kit, right? Charge up, weapon swap, these little seconds where you don't get to have so much control and agency over your character. That is a big, this little weapon swap is the difference between life and death in Overwatch, right? So now, if you understand what I'm saying, right? Like this clunk being able to like go up and down all of this, it goes a really long way. I've been playing this game for 10 years at a high level, right? And that's basically the issue. So even the overhealth, you get it when you land. So you're rewarded after you've done every risky thing. Why can't heat shield be when I press Q, I get 50 overhealth? So if I get 50 overhealth, it'll give me just enough time to tank some shots and come down, right? But now I'm at 370 and like, okay, now I can just, go crazy, this or that, whatever, whatever the case might be. And it's like, you have a lot of steps to your character. You have a lot of steps to get your max damage. But Genji, like, again, Alex specifically said she's meant to compete with Genji, right? Genji doesn't need those extra steps. You just do your damage and you can pop off, right? You just do your damage and you can pop off. So Genji doesn't have that clunk, right? Even with dash right now, I can just free fly wherever I want to go, right? And then if I'm in trouble, I have my sustain right here. And the sustain, I can move with it. But with, well, not my sustain, but like, my defensive cooldown. But Anran, if you use the E defensively, let's say like somebody's shooting at me or contesting my position and I press E, right? I'll Suzu myself. Sure, I might poke them a little bit, but I'll instantly back in the exact same scenario and I can't escape. So even the E duration is a bit low, right? And it's a 10-second cooldown. Jesus Christ, it's a 10-second cooldown. I can't play. I'm never gonna get her in 6v6. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I can't get her in 6v6. I'm being very for real right now. If I go to 6v6, I won't be able to play her. But I hope you understand, like, I'm not trying to be negative for the sake of being negative. Like, even Coach Spilo talked about this yesterday, that the hero that he felt like needed the most feedback and that he was trying to give the most feedback on was Anran. And before Anran, it was Mizuki, because Mizuki was very weak in the internal playtesting. So that's why I'm also trying to like give that feedback too, which is like, Anran's kind of rough. Like, which mode are you queue? This is the base game, guys. This is 5v5 role queue. But like, it's gonna be rough. And unless I'm able to queue with a friend or two, it's gonna be a little bit rough, right? It's okay. Like, that's why I played against the bots. It gave me a little bit of an idea of like what she's gonna feel like in team fights. Like when I play her. it's okay. I've played this game for 10 years, guys. Like, this character is very close for comfort. Okay? They will buff her. You could also make a good argument that they purposefully kept her weak so that they have an excuse to buff her. You know, because they did the same thing with, like, what, like, they did this when Juno launched, with Wu Yang launched, when Vendetta launched. They came weaker than necessary, and then they got a little bit power crept, and then slowly got toned down into a decent spot. So, and by the way, like, some of the patch was on the testing client yesterday at the Blizz headquarters. Vendetta apparently got nerfed. She lost a bit of her armor, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, yeah, the DPS queues are definitely going to be tough. But, like, guys, I think I might call it here because it's way too late. It's okay. We'll come back tomorrow a little bit earlier. Hopefully, I'll have a person or two to play with. Hopefully a tank main, because all of this is because no tank is interested in playing this game anymore. We need to have a serious conversation about this, about the tank problem in Overwatch, because this is all because nobody wants to play tank. Okay, like, this is bad, and tanks are only getting one new character, and that's it until, like, July, where we'll get Demon, the mecha girl. So this is kind of rough, because we also know after the the 5 new characters, we're getting another DPS. So we're gonna be in this scenario again 3 months from now. So it's gonna be weird. That's a silly mindset. I just gave you examples of every single character they've done this with. So, like, when we tested Juno, did Juno get buffed? Yes or no? Yes, she got buffed. When they tested who was it, Wu Yang, right? Did they buff him? Yes or no? They buffed him, right? When they tested Hazard, did they buff him? Yes or no? They buffed him, right? And who was the recent example? When Freya was being tested, right? She was pretty strong. And then they, like, weakened up her primary fire, but they let her have the strength in take aim, and she came out very, very strong, right? Same thing happened with Venture. Venture had some camera lock issues, and they also had, like, some well, from Venture's perspective, it was more sustain, and then they buffed the sustain on the character during release, right? And then the same thing happened with Vendetta. Vendetta came out, she felt pretty decently good, and then the patch that came with her buffed up, like, most of her kit, and also her perks, because her perks were a little bit weird. I think I'm not sure. So they have done this. It's not like they don't do it, you know. Does it usually take this long to you? No. We're in a small server, so this is just rough. If Blizzard put a server select, this would be an alleviated problem. But it is what it is. What can you do? It's okay, guys. I might just have to stream the game tomorrow, because what can you do? Do VPNs work? Yeah, something like that. 47-minute queue, it is what it is, my dudes. It is what it is. Alright, on a serious note, I like Anran. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll revisit her kit. I'll try to get a tank player to queue with me, and, like, one support. And we'll see, like, what we can do by then. If not, I'll try to get footage of her, like, playing by myself, and we'll revisit it. But I can't humor a 1 hour queue time, guys. That's ridiculous, right? So for now, we did try her again against bots, but you feel the kit, right? I've been playing this game for 10 years. You get a feeling that, okay, and especially she's very close to the character that I main, like, of all time. Okay, she's very much a fire version of this character. So first impressions is, like, fun, potential is there, but we need to remove the clunk, okay, and maybe give her an invulnerability frame on the ultimate cast, and that's it. After the ultimate deploys, let her be vulnerable. It's okay, right? We'll have to see. I might change my opinion, but we're gonna have to try in, like, a proper setting. Hopefully tomorrow I'll do an early stream, right? So with that said, I kind of hate to say it, but I guess I will see you guys in the next video. When's Emery releasing, Abby? February 10th. 4 days from now, all 5 characters will be in the game. All 5 of them. will be in the game. For custom games with watchers, I might do that tomorrow, guys. We'll try to do it tomorrow, okay? So with that said, I do have to go. It's very late. It's 12 a.m. You guys can see that. So with that said, see you guys in the next one.